Good afternoon, evening, and morning to everyone, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for logging in, joining us on Dogs on Zoom. So as we wait for some attendees to get in, so the dogs are getting all settled. Dogs on Zoom is an event brought to you by PEDIGREE. In addition to being an awesome partner and sponsor of this event, they are also going to be sponsoring all of the adoption fees for the dogs that you see here today, as well as the dogs that we had on yesterday and on Monday. But this is our last evening with you and with PEDIGREE for Dogs on Zoom. So we're gonna go out with a bang here with these amazing adoptable dogs that we've got here tonight. So if you've been on with us before, welcome back. If you are new to dog or working with PEDIGREE, and we is Friends for Life Animal Shelter. We are located in Houston's historic Heights District, and we focus on taking those who don't have a chance anywhere else. So that may be an animal who's dealing with some major medical, and maybe an animal who is dealing with some behavior challenges. So whatever it is, we are working with them. On the call today, I also have my colleague and behavior extraordinaire, Beth Brown. She's a wonderful behaviorist with the Friends for Life program. So she manages a lot of behavior. She also fosters. She was recently our cat intake coordinator, but she has switched to becoming behavior all around. So I'm going to bring her on in a little bit to introduce Bruno. But for today, I'll say we got a few folks on now. Welcome to the call. I will go ahead and start introducing these dogs that we've got here today. So you see, if you were with us on Monday or Tuesday, you're seeing Reggie again. Reggie is one of our longest stay dogs. He's about 7 years old, and Reggie came to us in 2017. So we've had him for a few years now. Reggie's, I know we always get a lot of questions on what breed Reggie is, and Reggie is, we had a DNA test run on Reggie, and Reggie is 25% pit. So what I call pit bull, it's American Staffordshire Terrier is the actual breed, as well as German Shepherd. So he's got a little bit of German Shepherd in him, but about 25% American Staffordshire Terrier, and a few other things sprinkled in there. Reggie, he is the training extraordinaire. He is so well-mannered, and sometimes he'll get a little stubborn, but he's got a lot of friends on his team here at the shelter. Also today we have Bear. Bear is looks like we lost this there for a second. So Bear is about 10 months old, and he came to us from a member of the community. So they weren't able to fully care for Bear, and so he came into our program. Even though he's only 10 months old, he is a beast of a dog at about 56 pounds already. So he weighs about as much as Reggie, but he's only 10 months old. And then we have George. So George is a 2-year-old. He looks just like a puppy though, so I think he's going to have forever puppy face. He's a super, super sweet boy. He came into our program recently. He's about 40 pounds, but he looks like a small guy. He was rescued by his previous adopter, and he had some bad skin and was underweight at the time. He's still working on getting to know people, but he absolutely loves other dogs. So he's super cute. He lives with 2 Chihuahuas in his foster home, and he actually carries the mail in for his foster, like some adorable cartoons. So he's an awesome dog. And so we have been focusing on getting these guys ready for their forever homes. So George and Bruno do live in a foster home, but Bear and Reggie are still looking for a more permanent foster home. So Reggie currently resides with us at the shelter. So a foster home or a forever home. And if you end up adopting any of these dogs here or any of the dogs from Monday or Tuesday's Dogs on Zoom sponsored by Pedigree webcast, their adoption fee will actually be covered by Pedigree. So I'm going to bring Beth on now, and I'm going to have her introduce Bruno to us, because Bruno used to actually live with Beth in her home. She fostered Bruno for a little while. So we'll bring Beth on and see what she has to say about Bruno. I know for now he's a she. He's about 3 years old. So
yeah,
Beth?
Bruno is pretty much the best. Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, so Bruno is kind of a fantastic little dog. He's got some hang-ups about meeting people, but that's okay because we know how to get around them. He's most likely a Chihuahua. He's about 7-8 pounds or so. So just a tiny little dude, but he packs a lot of personality into that tiny body. And he's one of the snuggliest little guys you'll ever meet if you ever get to earn his trust and become his friend.
That's awesome.
And I believe he's about 3 years old now.
Beth, I am, it sounds like you're chopping in and out a little bit, but that was an excellent intro for Bruno. I can talk a little bit more about him having met him. So Bruno did come to us as a stray, so he was rescued. What you see these yellow things here in his kennel are like foraging toy type toys. So what the trainer will do is put some treats underneath it, and Bruno has to figure out how to get them out. And so these can be good for targeting, and they're also great mental enrichment. So if you are just joining the cast, if you've been here before, welcome. If you're just joining us, welcome as well. We are Friends for Life Animal Shelter. We're located in Houston's Heights Historic District. We are the first no-kill shelter in Houston and remain the only LEED certified no-kill shelter in the Houston area. We're super, super proud of what we do here. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over to some of the questions we've got from some of our viewers, some of our attendees. Thank you all for being here. So Kim is asking, how has the pandemic affected your shelter? Are you doing contactless adoptions? So first of all, thank you so much for the question, Kim. Thank you for being here. So when the pandemic hit Houston, it hit pretty hard, and we're still in the midst of it. And so our shelter remains closed to the general public, but we do have an amazing staff who are here helping out. We are asking that anybody who can work from home does, just to minimize the amount of people here. And then we've got some of our trusty blue shirts. Those are our volunteers who help us with the animal care, because we still do have a lot of animals at the shelter. We're doing a lot of intake still, so our work doesn't stop just because of a pandemic. There's still a lot of people in need. One of the coolest things that we've started doing kind of as a result of the pandemic is we saw a lot of people looking at the choice of whether they had to feed their dog or keep their light bill on, or go and get their dog a rabies vaccination, or put food on their family's table, especially when work started to be canceled or people were laid off or furloughed. So what we did is we started doing a clinic, so a mobile clinic. We'd never really done this before, but we figured we have a parking lot, we know how to set up a shelter, and we have amazing donors who allow us to provide these things to the community. So we set up shop, and since March 22nd, we've been providing care for animals in the Houston community. So what it's a drive-through clinic. We go and get the animal from the attendee, and we bring them in, get them all their shots, rabies, and get them checked out by a vet. So the most incredible thing is that we've been able to see a lot of animals who have never seen a vet before. So in the midst of a pandemic, we were able to raise the level of care for a lot of Houston animals. So what we now is contactless. Let's see. Our contactless adoptions have been super successful. So our team has done an amazing job of working with the public and getting people, getting folks all set up to take the animal into their home for a sleepover. So let's let the dogs. So if you're just joining us, we've got a few more attendees now. We are Friends for Life on Dogs on Zoom. So this webinar is brought to you by PEDIGREE, who is also sponsoring the adoption fee for all of these amazing dogs. So we've got Bruno here tonight. He's most likely a Chihuahua. He's about 3 years old, about 7 pounds. And then Reggie, one of our longest stay dogs. He's been with the shelter this time since 2017. He's still looking for a foster or his forever home. And then we've got George, who's relatively new to the shelter. He's about 2 years old, and he looks infinitely like a puppy. I haven't seen a dog that looks more like a puppy. So thank you for attending. Thank you for joining us. If you're interested in any of these guys, you can go to our website, which is friends4life.org/adopt. So it looks like one of our cameras went down. We're gonna go and check out so that we can still see Bear. Bear is one of our newest as well. So him and George came in. I think George came in a little bit after Bear, but Bear's still looking for a foster home. So if you are open to taking in a big, lovable boy who loves to play and looking for a running partner, go ahead and head over to our website. The foster information, which has all of the details you need for fostering, is at friends4life.org/foster. Let's go ahead and take a look. So Alex wants to know if these dogs are spayed and neutered. They are. We do spay and neuter all of the dogs over 6 months in our program, as well as the cats. And then if the animals are under 6 months, what we just ask is that adopters leave a refundable spay and neuter deposit. So that helps ensure that we can make sure that they're getting spayed or neutered by their 6-month birthday. So, but Reggie, George, and Bruno are all already neutered, and I know that Bear is scheduled for later this week. So, all right, now we have a question from Joseph. Joseph, thank you so much for being here with us. So Joseph is asking which dog is best for apartment living. So I do know that Reggie struggles with apartments. He probably wouldn't be a great apartment dog. So who you don't see on the screen, unfortunately, we're trying to get his feedback up, is Bear, and Bear is a big, lovable guy. So if you're an active person and you have an active lifestyle, like to get out and do running, or biking or hiking, any of that, Bear could live in an apartment comfortably, as long as he's got his enrichment needs met. Then we also have George. So George came to us semi-recently. He currently lives with 2 Chihuahuas. He carries the mail in for his foster, so he lives in a home. We are still letting us know. We're still finding out whether George would be good in an apartment or not. But as soon as we have those details, we will be sure to post them on his profile. So if you are interested in learning more about any of the dogs you see here on the cast, you can go to our website. So it's friends, the number 4, life.org/their name. So you'll see /Bruno, /Reggie, and then George is /George-2. Otherwise, you can just go to our main website, friends, the number 4, life.org, and that will take you to our animals page. So you can go and see all of the dogs in our program. Bruno right now, I misspoke, and he does not have a foster at the moment. So Bruno is unfortunately living at the shelter. So Bruno is also looking for a foster. So if you're not ready to adopt, you can go ahead and check out Bruno. Bruno, he really likes to sleep. So he may also be a good apartment dog. You might, as long as your neighbors are tolerant with some occasional barking. Let's see, if you're just joining us, thank you for coming on. We are Friends for Life Animal Shelter located in Houston, Texas. We are on here thanks to our amazing sponsors, PEDIGREE, who are sponsoring dogs on Zoom. In addition to sponsoring this event, they are also covering the adoption fee for all of the dogs that you see on our cast today, as well as the dogs that were on Monday and Tuesday. And if you missed those, you can go ahead and check out our Facebook, which is Friends FOR Life Houston. And we have the dogs linked to their profiles on the event page there. So let's see. Thank you again for everyone who has tuned in. Ellen is asking, would you help me train my new dog if I adopted? I don't know how to potty train or teach a dog to sit. So Ellen, the awesome thing about a lot of our dogs is they already come potty trained, and they usually, all of them will come with basic commands. So a lot of them know sit, they know look, they know down, they know touch. So we work with them at the shelter. Their fosters work with them in their homes to make sure that they have some basic behavior skills down. Some of these guys, like Bruno and Reggie, have been working on more advanced behavior training. And what we've been able to do with them is work on some of their issues and some of their fears and some of their anxieties. So Ellen, to answer your question in short, yes, but if anyone's looking for resources right now, they can also go onto our website, and we have a ton of resources. So let's see. So I know that, let's go ahead and bring Beth back on, see if maybe her sound quality will be a little bit better. And see if she is able to walk us through some of the training that we've done with Bruno. So give us a little bit about what Bruno's challenges are and the progress he's been able to make in his behavior goals.
Yeah, he's, I mean, basically a different dog than we met almost 2 years ago, but he still has a long way to go. Bruno came to us with a lot of fears, specifically around being handled. So he was scared of hands, he was scared of feet, he's scared of sticks. So take from that what you will.
Baby.
So we did a lot of work. We did a lot of work counter conditioning him so that he wasn't scared of hands. He does still have a lot of hangups about being touched, though. So he's one of our dogs that exemplifies our whole philosophy on consent and animals the best, because like he loves to be pet, he loves to snuggle, but he will not do it unless it's on his own terms, because he still hands. So if he builds a relationship with you, trusts you, then you can pet him for short periods of time as long as he still gives you consent. And that's something we counsel potential adopters about as well. We go very in depth with their behavior history and how best to handle them and how to meet them and all that.
Well, it sounds like we are losing Beth.
No, not again.
I know. So I know that Bruno has been working through, I've had Bruno sit on my lap, but I've never gotten to the point where I've been able to touch him or handle him with my scary hands.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot with him. He loves toys.
Yeah.
So if you play with him, he usually will warm up to you pretty well.
Okay. Awesome.
And from there, as long as you respect his limits, he won't do anything.
Yeah. It's all about consent and the behavior that we do.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you for walking us through that, Beth.
And you
I'll
can
throw
see
you back on. Yeah, he's doing good with Suzanne's scary hands. He's got lots of toys in that kennel. He actually has a whole bucket of them there. So awesome. Thank you for walking us through that, Beth. I am going to go ahead and throw you back on mute, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you back on in a bit to talk through some more of our behavior stuff. So Beth is part of the amazing behavior team that we have here at Friends for Life. So they do work with our animals in house, but they are also involved in part of the adoption process or in some of the follow-up and what he I lost my train of thought. So Bruno has been working through some of those. So those, I'll look at a few more of these questions here. So if you are just joining us, thank you for logging in. We usually have 4 dogs on our Dogs on Zoom. We did Monday and Tuesday, but we have unfortunately lost one of the camera feeds. So who we have here is George, Bruno, and Reggie. They are all adoptable with us at Friends for Life Animal Shelter. We are located in Houston, Texas, in the Historic Heights District. Our shelter is currently closed to the public, but we are doing adoptions still. We're still doing intake, we're still doing adoptions, and we're still doing some community work out there with our free clinic. So that leads nicely into Alejandra. Thank you for being here, Alejandra. She asked, how long does the adoption process take? So I can walk everyone through it. So the first thing you would do if you were interested in a dog or cat that's listed on our website as adoptable is you would go and fill out an application for them. And those are located on their profiles, which is friends4life.org/their name. So Bruno, Reggie, George in this case. Or you can just go to our generic adoption page that gives you all the details on the process, which is friends4life.org/adopt. And so you fill out the application, and from there you get an automatic email back letting you know that we got it. Our adoption team takes a look at it, and it looks like Bruno's looking at somebody who's walking past. Look at that tail. Camera can't even keep up with it. So from there, we connect you with an adoption counselor, and how we've gone to doing these adoption counselor interviews recently with the pandemic is contactless. So usually those are over the phone or via Zoom, so whichever you prefer. And then that interview, we just ask some basic questions about the type of animal you're looking for, about your home situation, if you have any other pets in the home, and we can talk to you more about if you're interested in a specific animal, whether they'd be a good fit or not. If they don't sound initially like they're going to be a good fit, we can definitely suggest some other dogs for you to check out. So usually you'll hear back from our adoptions team to schedule an interview. 24 to 48 hours, they reach out. Usually they reach out via email, but they'll also try and call with the number you provided on your application. After that interview, it goes to the adoptions team and they review all of the notes that they have. And those notes then determine whether the application is approved or denied. Once an application is approved, it is good for 6 months. So that means for 6 months you can go in and you can meet and greet with dogs and cats, so whoever you filled out the application for. So that approval comes back generally 48 to 72 hours. So we've seen a lot of applications recently, and it just takes our time our team a little bit of time to get through them, and also to make sure that we are aligning the animal with the best fit home. So let's see. So from there, if you find an animal that might be a good home fit, you'll meet and greet with the animal. So we're doing that mainly over Zoom now as well. And if that meet and greet goes well, we set you up on a sleepover. So those sleepovers are generally about 7 days. They can be longer or shorter. We just work with each individual adopter and animal to see what's needed. And if that sleepover goes well, you simply come in and finalize the adoption. So that adoption fee in the case of these dogs is covered by PEDIGREE. What PEDIGREE is also doing is helping us promote these guys to find their forever home. So after the sleepover, if it all works out, finalize the adoption fee, and that's it. We get you equipped with any of the protocols, training, anything like that we would need. So we would be able to, during the interview, determine if the animal you're applying to adopt would be okay in your home. So the whole process end to end probably takes, I would say, about a week, depending on whether there's a lot of back and forth on the right fit animal, or during the sleepover or the meet and greet process. Sometimes people want to take a little bit longer sleepover time. And at the end of that sleepover, if it doesn't work out, then you just bring the animal back and we can try with another animal that might be a better fit. So if it's maybe a personality, or maybe the behavior is just kind of more challenging than you want to take on right now, those are all things that we can work with you with. But if the adoption finalizes, we are a lifetime partner in support of the animal. So if your situation ever changes and we need to rehome the animal, they have a safe place to come back and friends for life. So I hope that answered your question, Alejandra, but if you do have more questions, you're welcome to check out our website at friends4life.org/adopt. And all those details are also on meetyournewdog.com, which is the PEDIGREE website that sets up these Zoom calls. So Dogs on Zoom, sponsored by PEDIGREE. So looks like Ellen's got a few questions. Is it okay if I already have a dog at home? It absolutely is, depending on the dog that you're looking to adopt, or the cat. So some of these dogs would get along with other dogs. Reggie's not a big fan of other dogs, but he has been able to make friends with some female dogs. Bruno has lived in a home with other dogs, but he probably isn't going to be necessarily your George, we are still learning about George. So George is relatively new to our program, but he does live with 2 small Chihuahuas, and he absolutely loves dogs. We're just not sure about cats. And then Bear, whose video you can't see right now, unfortunately, we're trying to get that feedback up. Bear is a dog that absolutely loves dogs. He loves dogs, he loves cats, he wants to make friends with everything. It's a rock, he loves rocks. He wants to be best friends with literally anything he encounters. So Bear is an awesome dog. He is relatively new to our program. He's about 10 months old. He's still got some of that puppy energy, but he loves everything he meets. Ellen also asked if some of the toys in Bruno's kennel are handmade. So some of them are. One of the things you see is that pink and white rag looking thing. And what that is a snuffle mat. So that snuffle mat is designed to provide snuffle that. So you put treats and things like that in there. And then the dogs are able to sniff those out and find them. Are any of these dogs better from an active lifestyle? Thank you for the question, Joseph. So yes, so Reggie would be good. Reggie likes to exercise. He's a great exercise dog, but who I would recommend the most out of these 4 dogs would be Bear. So Bear has been on nature hikes recently. He's been on 2-mile runs. He's been on, his daily walk routine is about 3 walks. So this guy can keep up with an active lifestyle. You can check him out on our website. His profile is at friends4life.org/bear-freedmans. That's BEAR-FREEDMAN. All right. So for those of you who are just joining us, thank you. I'll reintroduce us. So we are Friends for Life in Houston, Texas. Dogs on Zoom is a program that is sponsored by PEDIGREE. PEDIGREE is also sponsoring the adoption fee for all of the dogs you see on the call today. So we typically have 4, but Bear's camera went down, and so we're trying to get it back up. If you are interested in learning more about any of these dogs, then you can check out their profiles on the website, or you can shoot us a message, or you can go to friends4, that's the number 4, life.org/adopt. And that'll give you all of the adoption details, as well as you can navigate through the menu up there at the top where it says Our Animals. Well, thank you again for joining us tonight. We have loved these casts. They have been so fun. All right, so let's hit some more questions from our attendees. So Omar, thank you for being with us tonight, Omar. We're excited to have you here, excited to be here with you. Omar asked, do any of these pups have health issues? So as far as we can tell, Reggie, we know that Reggie doesn't have any health issues right now. He does take some medication during storms, and he takes some medication when his anxiety is going to be higher. So he's got some anxiety meds that help manage some of that. But otherwise, he's super healthy. Right now, he's at a healthy weight. And then we also have George. So George is new to our program. He is still working on getting to know people, so he's got some behavior challenges with that, but he's healthy. He has been checked out by our team. He's about 40 pounds. He's a stocky little guy, but he's got this forever puppy face that is just adorable. And then Bruno, our tiny package with a big personality. Bruno is in good health. We're still investigating some potential epilepsy and things like that. I know that our wellness team is working on that, but the awesome thing, what I really like, is that we will never adopt out an animal that we haven't fully vetted health-wise. So we make sure that the animals are healthy, and that if they have any issues or any chronic conditions, that we have a treatment plan in place for them before they go to their forever home. So sometimes that'll look like daily medication, or sometimes that'll look like yearly checkups. It can just vary from animal to animal. So I know that some of the behavior work we do focuses on making that wellness care a lot easier. That's what we call husbandry training. If you're ever interested in learning more about husbandry training, there are a lot of really amazing videos online. They do a lot of husbandry training with zoo animals. And so for big cats and elephants and things like that. We also do it with our animals here because a lot of our behavior is focused on getting the animal's consent. So whether we're working on a sit or we're working on a blood draw, we work with them on consent. And so they are choosing to do the behavior. So we have a few asthmatic cats. And if you can imagine how difficult it would be to give a cat a daily nebulizer, a daily inhaler, it seems like it would be a nightmare. But the cats that we've worked with on husbandry training gladly go up and put their face into that. We've similarly done other trainings with other animals. So Julio is a dog that we had on earlier this week who we are working on blood draws with. So he just does not like to be restrained. So we're working on blood draws with him as well as nail trimmings. So he doesn't like his feet touched. Our behavior team is doing some awesome husbandry training with him. So all these guys are healthy. We're never going to send anybody out that we don't know. If it's inconclusive or if they are sick, we'll always let you know if they have any known health issues. So that's part of the joy of what we do. We end up with a lot of sick animals. We end up with animals who have chronic conditions that would typically be a death sentence. And here they've got room to recuperate, recover, and learn some new and relaxing behaviors in the process. So let's see, let's talk about what these guys love to do. So Bruno is a huge fan of nylabones. So he loves those chewy nylabones. He also really likes to give kisses. As you can tell from his plethora of toys in his kennel on the screen, he likes tiny toys that he can whip back and forth and thrash about. He's a lover of being blanketed like a burrito, but some of the things that he's scared of include hands. So he doesn't really like hands that much. They're a little scary. But he still likes to give kisses, and he still likes to do things on his specific timeline. So right now, his timeline is staring off into space. All right, I will go back and talk about what Reggie and George like, but right now I want to answer this question from Kim. So Kim, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We're glad you are here. Kim is asking which one of these would be a good home buddy. So without a doubt, I can say Reggie. So Reggie, he loves to snuggle up with people. He can just chill on the couch all day. He does still really love physical enrichment and playing and toys, but he is just as happy to curl up in a lap, especially during thunderstorms. So during thunderstorms, his favorite thing is to just be in bed with his human. And I don't think it sounds like such a terrible fate to be stuck in bed with a big, fluffy, lovable dog during a beautiful rainstorm. So Reggie would definitely be the best home buddy. In addition to Bruno might be a good home buddy too. He likes to Netflix and hang, and as long as those Netflix videos don't include include animals, because that can be kind of triggering for him. But definitely, if you're looking for some couch potato home buddy, definitely check out Reggie. Reggie is an amazing dog. He is my favorite at the shelter, but don't tell any of the other dogs. Woo! It looks like we've got a crazy fun time going on Bear's camera. Looks like they're getting it set up again. Oh, all right. So let's go ahead and see if we can get Bear back on here. Bear is one of our newest dogs. He is a rambunctious 10-month-old lovable guy. He, at only 10 months, he's not full grown, and he weighs about 60 pounds. So he also has that puppy energy and isn't exactly sure how big he is, but hopefully we can get him on. But for now, we do have George, Bruno, and Reggie. For those of us who are just joining us, this is Dogs on Zoom. So you guys can see there on Bear's screen the fancy mounts that we have in the kennels. So once I get that camera flipped around, we'll be able to take a peek at Bear. But this Dogs on Zoom is being sponsored by PEDIGREE. And as part of that sponsorship, PEDIGREE is graciously covering the adoption fee for all of these dogs once they're adopted, once they find their forever home, as well as the dogs that were on with us on Monday and Tuesdays. So we're super excited that they are here with us and that they've sponsored this amazing program. Bruno, it looks like Bruno's very interested in the people in the hallway. Oh, there we see George. George is going to town on his rope toy. You can see that, so George likes to keep his space rather tidy. You can see his bed is all made. His toys are all placed on his bed, and he's relatively low key. While he looks like a puppy, he's actually about 2 years old. He weighs about 40 pounds right now. So he came to us with some pretty bad skin and significantly underweight, but he's been able to put that weight back on and is just learning to trust people again. So he didn't come from the best background, but he does love dogs. So we know that he's had really great experiences with dogs. And he does this super cute thing where he carries the mail in for his foster right now. So if you've ever seen those cartoon dogs that trot in with the mail, he does know that, which is pretty cute. We're also working on him with commands like sit and touch and look and down. He's very food motivated, so it's really awesome. In contrast, you can tell that Reggie likes his things everywhere. So he has kind of destroyed his bed. He's also in love with large toys. So in his kennel right now, he's got his giant purple octopus that stays with him in his kennel. So he does live here at the shelter until he finds an adopter or a foster home. So, and then Reggie also likes to do puzzles. So he's got his Kong in there. He's not super interested in that right now. He's a pro at those, as well as this green circle thing that you see here. So this is a form of scent and mental enrichment. So what we do is we hide treats underneath those dots, and they have to push the little dots around with their nose to move it out of the way to get the treat. So Reggie's really good at those as well. You see he's got big yellow bones. George is pretty much happy playing with whatever you give him, as well as Bear. So now we can see the amazing Bear who's getting some treats. He's relatively new to the shelter, and he's still adjusting, but he does amazing in a home. I've seen him in his foster's home. So Bear loves toys, and any toy that you give him is the best toy ever. So he's got this floppy pretzel thing that he's enjoying. He loves people. He loves to snuggle with people. He loves other dogs. He was living in a temporary foster home, and that foster home happens to have a pig, and he wants to make friends with the pig as well as the cats and probably the ferrets if he could get to them. But he's a super friendly boy, has never met a stranger in his life. He is very active, so if you have an active lifestyle, Bear would be an excellent fit. He lived most of his life growing up on a 5-foot chain, and now has come to us so that we can find him a forever home where he gets to experience all of the new and exciting joys of the world. So he's been on some nature hikes and done an amazing job. So Bear is working on some of his behavior stuff. He's working on down because he can get exceptionally excited when he meets new people, but he's pretty good at it now. I know that when I went and met him last time, he was very excited and he was able to do an auto sit. So that's just where they sit before you make contact and give them pets as a reward. So let's see, let's hop over to some of the questions. And again, if you're just joining us, if you were on Monday or Tuesday's webinar, thank you for coming back. If you are new to the webinar, thank you for joining us tonight on Dogs on Zoom, sponsored by PEDIGREE. PEDIGREE is also sponsoring the adoption feed for all of these dogs, as well as the dogs that were on Monday and Tuesday. If you're curious about seeing who else we've had on, so on the previous Dogs on Zoom, you can head over to our Facebook page. You can find that by going to facebook.com/friends and then FOR Life Houston. So that's Friends for Life Houston. And if you go to the events page, you'll see those events under previous, as well as a list of the dogs that were on. Reggie's been a star all 3 days because we are especially focused on finding this long-stay boy his perfect home. So head over to our website if you're interested in adopting any of these guys. That website again is friends4life.org/adopt. And their adoption fees will be covered by PEDIGREE once they find their forever home, as part of this amazing Dogs on Zoom that PEDIGREE has started. Let's hop over and see, some of the attendees have some questions. So Ellen has a question about potty training. So potty training, how long does potty training take? So that can vary by dog. It also varies the age that you're teaching them at, as well as the dog's how fast they catch on to tricks. So Reggie catches on to training really quickly. And he's also motivated by specific foods that we found are highly enriching for him. So if a dog is less motivated to train though, if they don't really find interest in that and they're more interested in other things, it can take a little bit longer. But we also do have a ton of training resources on our website for people who are interested. So it walks you through the entire process of using force-free, fear-free methods, which is the methodology we use at our shelter for training. So force-free, fear-free methods on how to train a number of things. So there's a potty training guide. There is also a crate training guide. And then there are some more specific guides to work on specific behavior challenges. So if you have a dog who just gets really anxious and upset and or is destructive when you leave the house, if you're dealing with a little bit of separation anxiety, we've got guides on that. And then if there are questions that aren't covered on our website resources, we also like to be a resource and engage with folks who are interested in adopting. But if you do adopt a dog from us that has some specific behavior protocols, so for example, Reggie, when Reggie meets new friends, when he meets strangers, people he's never met before, he goes through a stranger danger protocol. So initially that would take a few meetings, but now Reggie has gotten that stranger meeting procedure introduction down to about 5 minutes. So as long as people stick with that and keep doing it, Reggie stays stress-free in the home. So I know he came to us because his previous adopters had gotten a little bit lax with that, and that resulted in his stress increasing. And he ended up at a shelter. So his adopter had moved to Washington, D.C., and he ended up at a shelter in Fairfax, Virginia. And so they gave us a call because they saw that we were the original listed owners on his microchip and asked us if we wanted him back. And so our adoption manager and one of our behavior techs at the time they flew up to Fairfax, and then they drove Reggie back through 5 states to bring him home to Friends for Life. So since that was back in 2017, and since then Reggie has been with us here at the shelter, and he will continue to have as much time as he needs to find that forever home. So let's see, Alex is asking which one of these dogs would be a good match for someone with only a little dog experience. So I think, so Reggie and Bruno are probably dogs that you'd want a little bit of experience, but we also equip all of our all of our adopters with the specific behavior protocol. So as long as you follow the directions, everybody should stay healthy, and stress-free in the home. As you can tell, Bruno does need a lot of enrichment, a lot of tiny toys. He's got some training. Those yellow dots there are things that the trainer has hidden treats under. And so Bruno then needs to use his nose and his brain to find them. So it looks like she's probably using chicken. So just canned chicken right now. And Bruno, he's less interested in that, but I know if I offered my dog chicken, they would tear down the wall to get to it. So as far as dogs that would be a good match, so George is pretty easy. He's still working on meeting new people, but he is excellent with other dogs, and he is super cute. He's also a more manageable size at about 40 pounds. So Bear is also an excellent dog. Bear has never met a stranger in his life, including any type of animal. We still have to test him fully with cats to make sure that he's all right with them. And he does have that 10-month-old puppy energy and is about 60 pounds. So he would be a good fit for someone who is looking to stay active, someone looking to walk a dog a lot, run with them, take them on field trips, things like that. So he could be a great dog for that. But really any of these guys, even Reggie and Bruno, if you don't have a lot of experience, sometimes that can be better because you're learning from scratch what works specifically for that animal. And that's really the important thing, is focusing on who that animal is as an individual and working on their specific behaviors. So even if you don't have a lot of experience with dogs, we can equip you to take care of them so that you and them and everybody in the home stays healthy and stress-free. All right, thank you guys again for joining us. We're at the 9-minute mark. This has been such an amazing experience to be on for the past 3 days. We have loved having everyone on. Thank you for those who are still on with us today. So the dogs that we have on tonight, George, Bruno, Bear, and Reggie are all adoptable. Reggie, Bear, and Bruno are also looking for foster homes. So if you are interested in fostering an animal, if you're not really interested in adopting yet, but you've got space in your home to provide an animal with a temporary space while they look to find their forever home, that is a huge, huge thing to offer an animal. It's a huge chance. So, so go ahead and check that out. Looks like Reggie's got his red blanket on him now. He's feeling a little bit lazy tonight. Not very excited. So here's that snuggler coming out of him. Thank you guys again for joining us. Again, if you're interested in adopting any of these guys, you can head over to our website, friends4life.org/adopt. And their adoption fees are being covered by Pedigree as a part of the Dogs on Zoom event. We'll hop over and answer a few of these questions here. So Kim is asking, do these dogs know any commands? Does your shelter offer dog training sessions? So we do a lot of behavior work at the shelter here. We have a full-time team on it. So with the dogs in our program, we like to work on basic commands like sit, down, stay. Some of our boys and girls also know some more advanced commands. Reggie knows how to beg, so he sits up on his back haunches with his feet up. He loves to do that one. That one's just more of a cutesy one. But we also do work on some of our dogs with training that helps with their wellness and grooming care. So for example, Julio, who was on earlier in the week with us, Julio is working on letting people touch his feet. So we're working slowly with him, force-free, fear-free always. So that Julio works with us so that he's okay and he's calm when we touch his feet. And so that could help with things like nail trims. So instead of that being a traumatic experience for Julio and him getting super stressed out and everyone else in the process stressed out, he'll present his feet and get them trimmed. So that is something we're working on in the midway. Any dog that you need, that someone adopts who has specific behaviors and has specific protocols around those, we always equip adopters with those. And so we'll give those to you in written form, but we'll also set you up with one of our behaviorists who is able to explain and walk you through that and practice it. If it is something that we're continuing to work on, we will work with you on your schedule and things like that to bring the dog in for training on that specific behavior. If you adopt a puppy or a kitten from us, we run something called Puppy and Kitten Kindergarten. And what those are is a chance for puppies and kittens during their key socialization period to socialize and interact with other animals and different types of people, that helps them avoid stressors and fears and anxieties later in life. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump over to Alex's question. Alex is asking about Bruno. Would he be okay in a big city, having to travel in a bag on the subway every now and then? So Bruno, because he is a little bit hesitant about handling, being picked up, which is hard because he's only 7 pounds, so everyone is tempted to pick him up. Because he has difficulty with that, it might be a little bit difficult, but he could probably be trained to station in a bag with someone. Because he can be a little reactive to dogs when he's being carried. It has some boundary issues. He's not really a huge fan of kids. It might be difficult, but it's definitely something that if you had a specific interest in Bruno, our adoption counselors would be able to chat with you about. So if you're interested, go ahead and pop over to his profile. That is available at friends4life.org/Bruno. Otherwise, you can just go to our general adoption page, which is friends4life.org/adopt. You can find all those details on meetyournewdog.com. Let's see. So Ellen asked, is it best to take your dog to the groomer for nail clippings? I would say so. I think it's always best to have a professional do it. They have something that's called a quick, and if you hit that, it can be very painful and bleed a lot. So if you're not trained in nail clipping, just go ahead and have the professionals do it. All right. So Kim asked, and this is a nice way to round out our Dogs on Zoom webinar. I can't believe it's the end. Kim asked, how can we support Friends for Life other than adopting? So I did talk about earlier fostering. So there's a lot of details on fostering on our website. As I mentioned, Bruno, Bear, and Reggie are all currently looking for a foster home. So if you are interested in fostering, go ahead and reach out to us on our website. That's friends4life.org. We're also always looking for more support sharing our posts. That's something super simple you can do through our social media channels. Those are Facebook, facebook.com/friends, FOR, life, Houston. So that's Friends for Life Houston with the 4 spelled out in that one. You can connect with us on Instagram at friends4life.org. And then you can also head over to our website, which is links to all of these platforms, which is friends4life.org. We'll always accept donations as well, whether donations in kind through our wish list on Amazon Smile or cash donations. So that is also linked up on our website. But sharing our post does a lot of good as well, getting the word out. If you're interested in one of these boys, their stories touched you, go ahead and share their profile. So you can just share it on your social media by linking to that. Oh, look at Reggie using that purple pillow. I know, he's snoring now. Oh, baby boy. Anyway, this has been Dogs on Zoom with Friends for Life Houston. Thank you so much to Pedigree for giving us this opportunity, and thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. I hope that you all have a good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Continue to share your joy with the world, and we will see you soon. I will let the boys take it away now.